Faith is activated through continuous hearing of God's Word. Hearing of God's Word consistently helps you to pray, declaring God's will into your life. It will make you manifest to your world. Get set for an empowerment as the anointed man of God, Pastor Peter Balogun, expounds God's will for you. Be connected as you enjoy this timeless message.
Proverbs chapter 3 verse 9 and 10. I'll be speaking on a message titled, Honor the King. Honor the King. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 9 to 10. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. This is one scripture that once it is read, it causes a bit of discomfort to people. Anytime this passage of the scriptures is read, many of us, we just feel this uneasiness in us. And then we don't want to look at the face of the preacher because he's touching on something that you really don't want him to talk about. Some of us get angry within us the moment we hear about honoring the Lord with our substances, especially when you hear the first fruits of your increase. We just have this element of discomfort in us. Now, when we're talking about our substance, it goes beyond finances. Because that's the only thing that comes to mind when we read these scriptures. Oh, people will say, oh, they have come again. They want to take our money. Your substance is not about your money. Not just about your money. It refers to everything you own. Everything that is under your control. And God is the one who has written this, and it means business when he put it down for us to read. He says, honor me with your substance. Honor me with your substance. Your physical substance, honor me with them. Your material substances, honor me with them. Finances, honor me with them. Your life, honor me with it. It's a sin and a mark of disrespect for a man not to honor God with his substance. What does it mean to honor? The word honor means high respect, high regard. So to honor means to give someone due regards, high respect. You recognize the person and you recognize the authority of that person over you. You recognize the influence and the position of that person over you. I've seen people who are honorable that we give honor to. Many of us, maybe by reason of our vocation, sometimes you give such a high honor to human beings that you can't remember if you have ever given such to the Lord. But listen, of all men that are honorable, God is eminently honorable. God is powerfully honorable. So if there's anyone that deserves our highest respect, it is God. It is God. Sometimes you are addressing a human being and you are conscious of it to put the courtesy of that person. As many statements as you are making, Your Excellency. What I'm trying to say, Your Excellency, is that you may say that Your Excellency 100 times in just 3 sentences. Because you are trying to give honor and regard to that person. And the Lord is saying to you, I deserve a higher honor. I deserve a higher honor. God has power and authority above every other being. And we need to recognize that. He's called the King of Kings the Lord of Lords. We need to recognize that. Without giving God honor, every other thing you do with him or for him is in vain. He says, those that honor me, I will honor. Now, how many of us have ever been dishonored by someone before, only for the person to come to present a gift to you? How do you treat such a gift? Somebody just finished disgracing you, humiliating you, and then the person comes the next minute and says, oh, I have brought this to you. How do you treat such a gift? So whatever you do for God, without putting him in the place of his honor, is in vain. It's in vain. If you like, build a mansion, a cathedral for the Lord, and you don't honor the Lord in your heart, that building is in vain. So the issue of honor is what God doesn't take lightly. He doesn't take lightly. How many of us will come to church in our car and then you walk back home because God placed a demand on that treasure? How many of us would do that? How many of us, thank God for the testimony of our sister that said, God told me, you are wearing earrings. You know, sometimes when contribution is being made towards a worthy cause, and I see some people say, I don't have money, it just surprises me. Because as much as I know, there is nobody that God has not blessed enough to make contribution towards his work. And she said, God reminded me and said, you are wearing earrings. Pull it out. Go and sell. Now, she wouldn't have been able to do that if she treasured the earrings above God. You might think it's that simple. Many of us treasure even food above God. That's the truth. That's why God will say to you, abstain from food for one day. You can't do it. What you are simply saying is, I can survive more on food than God. Those valuables. Let me tell you what gives value to treasures. Shall I tell you? Life. What did I say? Life. What gives value to the things you call my valuables or the things I treasure is life. In the face of death, every treasure loses its value. In the face of death, every treasure loses value. If you have a house packed full of money, and then suddenly the whole house goes up in flames, the first thing you remember is your life. In fact, some people will forget their children. So in the face of death, everything loses value. Everything loses value. Please, if you can't remember anything that I said today, don't forget this. That in the face of death, everything loses value. What gives value to what you have is life. What gives value to your beauty is life. That good shape you think you have, what gives value to it is life. The moment life leaves, nobody appreciates it. Nobody appreciates it. I will stop there. Honor the Lord. Honor the Lord. Some of us we've come face to face with death. You appreciate what I'm saying. You will give up everything. Everything. You will give it up. You will give it up. Everything. Now, if God has blessed us with life, What is it that we have that we can't honor him by?